Bal Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Next. Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Antarashima Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, the founder and chair of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Chapter 18, Renunciation, the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Chapter 18, text 38. So, you're here for the class or? Okay. Okay, no problem. I'll just do it myself then. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vesindriya samyagyad yatad agra mita pamam parnanam visam ivatad sukham rajasam smititam. Vesindriya samyad yatad agra nimarpanam parnam Visam ivatat sukham raja samsmitaham. Vesindriya samyad yad that yad agra nibar pramam pramatam visam iyatat sukham raja samsmitaham. Mataji. I don't know if you want to follow me. You can do the, if you want. Do you want to recite after me? I don't know. Okay, so you can recite now. I'll do one line at a time, then you recite, yeah? Okay. Okay. Vishendriya samyagyad yadthad agra nivad pamam paritanam visam eva tad sukham rajasam smitam. Okay, you can. Vishendriya samyogyad yatad agras nibapamam parinami visamiva tad sukham rajasa smitam. Anyone else? Okay. Want to try? Okay. You want to try? Recite the verse.
I can read the Sanskrit.
Yes, I see.
That would be difficult for me to pronounce exactly. Yours is Sanskrit?
You can put it down for Sanskrit.
Which adhyaya, which shloka is this?
He'll put it down for you. The Sanskrit is there.
Sanskrit I can read. Sanskrit is not Sanskrit.
Sanskrit, there's no Sanskrit, right? Oh, it's okay. No Sanskrit. That's okay.
Sanskrit, please.
Yeah. This Roman translation is there.
Sanskrit is not there.
Yeah. That's okay. I'll go through myself. Word for word. Yad. You can say word for word. Yad. Which. Tad. That. Agre. Let's see. That's the wrong one. Vishaya. Object of the senses. Indriya. All the senses. Samyagat. From the combination. Tad. Which. Tad. That. Agre. In the beginning. Amrita upamam. Just like nectar. Purninam. At the end. Visham eva. Like poison. Tad. That. Sukham. Happiness. Rajasam. In the mode of passion. Smitam. Is considered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The happiness which is derived from a contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first or poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion. So you can repeat after me. That happiness which is derived from the contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion. Srila Prabhupada's purport. A young man and a young woman meet and the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce, there is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense objects is always cause of distress and should be avoided by all means. Om Agyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksu Mritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapidamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tina Mine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachai Sataine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktabrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, concerning the human form of life, we have higher responsibility. Just like a government officer, he's got more responsibility. So if he does something wrong, the punishment is heavy. So in the human form of life, all our senses are active. For the animals, they only have one sense which is active. Like for the eagle, they can see from a far distance a dead carcass. A dog can hear a whistle, which a human cannot hear. A deer gets caught by the flute of the hunter. He can hear the flute of the hunter. But for the humans, they got all the senses which are active, so they have more responsibility, and they got high intelligence. So, so for the human being, they got this high intelligence, how to understand they are not this body. As soon as we identify with the body, then ignorance comes in. When ignorance comes in, then one gets affected by the modes of nature, goodness, passion, ignorance. And also the 3-4 miseries, Adi-atmik, Adi-bhautik, Adi-devik, body and mind, other living entities and natural disturbances take place. And on top of that, because we're living in Kali Yuga, things are even more difficult. So, Krishna is very merciful that in previous ages, even if you think something bad, you get the reaction. But in Kali Yuga, you only get the reaction when you do something physically bad. But ideally, one should avoid even thinking about something bad, because if you contemplate thinking something bad, you get to a point where contemplation, then action will happen. So that's why it's recommended that one should always see the good in others. So there's a lecture by Srila Prabhupada explaining cutting the knots of material attachment. Hidaya means cut into pieces. What is cut? The knot. Hidaya Ganti. Hidaya means heart, and Ganti means knot. Everyone's heart has a knot. What is that knot? The knot is sex. Pumsa striya maithuni bhava etam. This is the knot. A man wants to have a woman wants to have a man. This they are searching after. And some way or another, if they unite, the knot becomes tight, but very strong. Then as soon as the knot is there is a house, then land, then children, then friends, then money. In this way, one after another, we become knotted in so many things. If you want to make a knot tight, you make one knot, then another knot, then another knot, another knot, to make it secure. This is our position. In the material world, we are knotted in so many ways. We are creating more knots, so we have to cut these knots. We are bound up in this material life by so many knots, but we have Hare Krishna people, but the Hare Krishna people have begun the process of cutting the knots. Yada anuvijisya yukta karma granti nibatinam chidanti kubadas tasya korna kayate katadatim. With a sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his messages? These knots are there. The whole world is working so hard on account of being knotted in so many ways. But if you take this sword of Krishna consciousness and carefully work, then all these knots will be cut. You will become free. You can say this side. Yeah. Krishna gives us what we want. The living entity, the soul, is bound up by the subtle body, the gross body, on account of these knots, these attachments. Krishna gives us the facilities we want. If you want a human body, you get it. If you want an animal body, you get it. If you want a tiger's body, you get it. If you want Brahma's body, a demigod's body, you get it. This is going on. God is within you, and you are hankering after something, and God is noting it down. All right, even if you forget, He'll give it to you. You wanted this facility, now here it is. You can take it. Krishna is so kind. We are being harassed by getting these different types of body and engagements according to the body. Then that we can understand. We are not happy because our main business is sense gratification. We cannot enjoy all these senses fully in one kind of body. There is some defect. We are trying to get gratifying our senses by flying to another planet, the moon planet. This is sense gratification. We are meant for this planet. We are bound up by our condition. Artificially, we are trying to get there. We are making so many plans. There will be an intermediate station, and the petrol will be carried from here, and this and that. So many things, simply spending money, just childish. Children spoil their time in energy in certain kind of playing. Similarly, this is going on because it is sense gratification. That's all, simply sense gratification. Let us go and see how it is, this moon planet. You have no business there. You cannot do anything there. You cannot live there. But still, let us go and let us go. And spend all the taxpayers' money, spend like water. This is going on. If you actually want to go to the moon planet, there is a clear process. A long time ago, I think sometime in 1960, I wrote a book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. So one gentleman met me, "Sir, your book is Easy Journey, so we shall go there." "Yes, we shall go." And again, "I shall come back." "No, not coming back." Chuckles. Prabhupada was laughing, yeah. So he replied, that is what is the use of going. Then what is the use of going? That means we want to go only for sense gratification. He wants to go to the moon, to any planet, come back and boast amongst his friends. "You see, I have gone." That is their business. Actually, he doesn't want to go there, nor has he got the power to go, but still he wants to satisfy his senses. "I shall go there and come back and show my very swollen chest. I have gone to the moon." One Russian went to our outer space, and he was greeted all over the world. He went to India also. Our rascal leaders greeted him as he did Khrushchev, others in his country. When he was in space, rounding the earth, he was trying to see, where is my Russia, where is my Moscow? So the attraction is here in Moscow. There is a proverb, The vulture goes very high, 3 miles, 4 miles high, but the aim is, where is the dead body? He is looking forward. Where is the dead body? The aim is not very good. He is looking for some dead corpse to eat. That is his business. But he has gone very high, 4 miles high. Similarly, the aim of all these rascals, so-called scientists, is how to tighten this knot of material existence. And they are trying to become so many things. So, you see, Hidaya Ganti, real attachment is here. For the hog, the real attachment is stool, but he's getting very fat. So I am so happy. You see, this is going on. Nature is very clever. Just to make you attached to stool, she gives you a certain type of body, a hog's body. You become very pleased. Oh, I am so happy. I am living in heaven. One time actually Indra, the king of heaven, was cursed to become a hog, and became a hog. He had a wife and many kidlings, was living in a filthy place eating stool. Brahma came to him because in his absence the management of the heavenly kingdom was not going nicely. Brahma requested Indra, now please come with me. Where shall I go, sir? Heaven. What is that? I cannot go. I have responsibilities. I have my wife, my children. I am happy here. I do not know what is heaven is. This is attachment. We are convincing. Please come with us. Let us go. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in one song, Radha Krishna Bolo Sangha Chalo He Matra Bhiksha Chai. Kindly chant Radha and Krishna and come with me. We are going back home, back to Godhead. Nobody is interested. What is this Radha Krishna nonsense? We are very happy here. That is not. Even if you explain, oh, here is Radha Krishna, see how nicely they are dressed and how they enjoy. Just see, they are dancing. They don't care for it. Oh, I am very happy here. Why shall I go to Goloka Vrindavan? You will not be able to stay here. Oh, that's all right. As long as I stay, let me enjoy this stool. That's all attachment. This is called attachment. Attachment is so strong that even if you explain, you will go back home, back to Godhead. Your Father is Krishna, all powerful. You can enjoy blissful life, eternal life there. They'll reply, no, it is better here. But if people take to this Krishna consciousness movement seriously, they can become spiritually advanced. The process is Samanam, Kirtanam, Svingatam, Swakada Krishna. Simply hear about Krishna as we are doing, then gradually you come to the platform of goodness. And the lower modes of material nature, namely ignorance and passion, cannot disturb you. You become situated in goodness. And then gradually this stage comes. Evam prasana manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata. You become enlightened. You become joyful by discharging devotional service. And you will no longer be interested in the rascal life of material existence. Vidya Hidaya Ganti. Dhruva Maharaj wanted the kingdom of his father, but actually when he saw the Lord Vishnu before him, he said, Sir, I do not want anything. My dear Lord, I no longer have any aspirations for this kingdom or that kingdom. That position comes, it is just like that. At first you are hungry, but if you are given food when your belly is filled up, you will automatically say, no, I don't want anything. Krishna consciousness is like that. Actually, because I am a spirit soul and you are spirit soul, we don't want to eat. We have no need to eat. The need of desire to eat is our material hankering. In order to maintain this body, we require some material things to eat. Otherwise, as spirit souls, we don't want to eat anything. There is nothing to be eaten. Therefore, the eating propensities should be satisfied by eating Krishna prasadam, so that you gradually become spiritualized and your eating propensities may diminish. Our necessities are sleeping and eating and sex enjoyment, but these can be conquered because in spiritual life there is no need of eating, no need of sleeping. This Krishna consciousness, as we have discussed, will gradually bring you to the stage where there is no longer the knot of material attachment. Bridaya hidaya ganti chidya sarva samsaya. We are speaking, you are not this body, you are the soul, but people cannot understand. They are in doubt. Oh, how is it that I am a soul, I am this body? But as soon as you come perfectly in spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, the doubts will be over. I am spirit soul, I am eternal servant of Krishna. That realization will be fixed. We are bound up by karma acting. In this life, I am acting in such a way that I am preparing my next life. Again, in the next life, I shall act in such a way that I shall prepare my next life. In this way, one after another, one after another, one after another. But if we take to Krishna consciousness and simply act for Krishna, there will be no more karma bandhana, bondage of karma. Then that one after another, we will be finished. That will be finished. In Brahma Samhita it is said, for those who taken to Krishna consciousness, the resultant actions of their karma is stopped. How Krishna gives you assurance in Bhagavad Gita, 1866, Aham tam sarvam papebhyo mokshami. I shall give you protection from all kinds of resultant actions of your sinful life. Just surrender unto me. Krishna can do anything. Krishna can do everything. A king can excuse you. By law you may be condemned to death, but if you appeal to the supreme executive, the king of the president, if he likes, he can excuse you. Similarly, by nature's law, we cannot be freed from the resultant actions of our sinful life. That is not possible. But if Krishna desires, if Krishna is pleased with you, he can excuse you. Because when you are Krishna conscious, you'll always see Krishna within the mind, within the heart. That is very seeing immunity from all sinful activities. Then you become free. You come back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, so I'll give you a little elaboration on this topic. A few minutes of number one. Okay. The beautiful human form of life should be utilized for a beautiful ending. Prabhupada used to say that something beautiful should not be utilized for an ugly end. Everything is tested at that moment of death. Presently we see that we are in a very beautiful situation, beautiful body, beautiful environment, beautiful facilities. Now this beautiful situation should somehow or other be utilized for a happy ending. Okay, I'll read a few points from this lecture by Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He makes some interesting points. The Supreme Personality of Godhead lives within the individual soul as Paramatma. The Lord expands, and in the capacity of Paramatma, He is present in every living entity's heart. And in that position, His main concern is to direct the living entity according to His desires. And should the living entity desire to develop spiritual consciousness, to also direct him in the right path. The Paramatma is also called the silent observer. Prabhupada used to relate this story that when he was in the Scottish church in Calcutta, the British professor once asked him, "Your Hindus believe in reincarnation, but who is actually witnessing all the sinful and good deeds that one may perform?" Prabhupada was unable to reply at that time, but the real answer is that the Paramatma is witnessing everything that one does. Besides the Paramatma, there are also many other witnesses of the different activities of the living entities performs. And this is confirmed by this Brahmana, Jat Bharat's explanation of Maharaj Raghunath in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Jat Bharat was a Brahmana boy who was in his previous life was a deer, and prior to that he was Maharaj Bharat, of whose name this whole planet was named. Today, of course, by Bharat one understands the country of India, but thousands of years ago the whole planet was called Bharatvash, after the name of Maharaj Bharat. Jat Bharat explains to Maharaj Raghunath there are innumerable witnesses to the activities that the living entity performs. A living entity may perform an activity even behind closed doors, but still there is innumerable witnesses. The star is the witness, the moon is the witness, the sun is the witness, the air is the witness, and so on. Any simple activity that one performs, either in the daytime or at night time, either in sun or in witness, the sun is witness, the moon is witness, or the stars, and you can go, and you cannot go anywhere without air. Besides this, the different demigods are also witnesses, and above all, the Paramatma is the witness. When the living entity performs simple activities, it is not that nobody is watching. There are many witnesses, in fact. Based upon the consciousness of the living entity at the moment of death, and based upon the different activities that the living entity engages in during one's life, he obtains a body of that type. The Paramatma is also dear friend of the Atma, that he never leaves the Atma alone in the material world. We generally see that when a friend is in difficulty, the other friend just leaves him alone. But the Paramatma is such a dear friend of the individual soul that even if the individual soul obtains a low species of body, such as a dog or a cat or any animal, still the Paramatma stays with the individual soul. He does not leave him, he does not say, "Oh, you had a human body before, but now you have a body of a dog, so I am not going to stay with you." No, the Paramatma is the best friend of the living entity. Therefore, he accompanies the living entity all times. If in the human form of life one utilizes his life correctly, then the Paramatma makes sure that the next life is definitely in a higher form, maybe in the higher planets, or maybe return to the original home. That is the kingdom of God, based upon the living entity's activities. The Paramatma is just observing everything, and based upon the desire of the living entity, he guides everything. He is in everyone's heart, and if the living entity develops genuine desire to come on the right spiritual path, the Paramatma will make sure that he brings him to the path. Should the living entity desire to forget the Lord and his instruction, the Paramatma also makes sure that the living entity is able to forget. So, in this connection, there are many examples of this happening, how those who are spiritual seekers, how Krishna guides them to become devotees. An example is Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. At the age of 16, he was seeking for the truth, and he got Srila Prabhupada's books, Back to Godhead magazine. But within his time, when he was 16, he saw many cheaters. So he wasn't just accepting it blindly. But then when he came here at the Bhaktivedanta Mana and he read Prabhupada's books, he could see this is a reality of, it's not just philosophy. It's a living example of what it means to achieve perfection. So, Everyone requires a teacher in their life. Without a teacher, you cannot do anything in this world. As Prabhupada said, if you accept Krishna as a teacher, you become perfect. And if you accept someone who's not, who's someone else, not in line of Krishna's teachings, then you get cheated. So, to follow Krishna's teachings is not so easy, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, out of many millions who endeavor on this path, only a few achieve perfection. Of those who achieve perfection, only one knows me in truth. So in order to accept Krishna's instructions, it requires some austerity in previous lifetimes. It's not so easy to accept. But if we go by the guidance of devotees who are serving Krishna and follow their instruction, then they're knowing our conditioned nature of where we are coming from in the material world, they can engage us according to that in Krishna's service. So in this way, we become purified to the point where we become strong spiritually. So, example is given, even in the material world, it's not like you can live by your own strength. You have to have friends around you to support you. So same thing applies in spiritual life. It's not by your own strength you can make an advancement. You have to have blessings from others around you. They can see your nature, what difficulties you're going through, what strengths you have, what weaknesses you have. And this way they'll help you to become spiritually strong. And they clear your doubts. So in spiritual life, one has to become serious and one has to become a deep thinker. If one is not serious and deep thinker, then it'll be difficult to take to Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada says you can do it in 1 second or you can take millions of lifetimes. It's how much are you ready to accept the process. So even Srila Prabhupada, he never accepted the credit himself. He said, whatever I am doing, Krishna is doing it through me. But just Krishna wanted me to get the credit. So this is the thing about those who are sincere practitioners, that they will not take the credit themselves. They'll give it to the parampara. They'll give it to their guru. They'll give it to Krishna, like that. So the other thing is people think association means physical closeness. But Prabhupada explained differently. He said, in spiritual life, association means through hearing. Through this process of hearing, that you get purified. Then in this way you take to the process of chanting the holy name, seeing through the eyes of scriptures, taking saintly association, following the teachings of the acharyas. So in this way you achieve the path of perfection. People in the material world, they survive because they have heroes, But the heroes you have in this world, they die off in time, they disappear. But the real heroes are the acharyas, the spiritual masters. They are showing us the way how to come out of the material world. Because the body you have in this world is full of misery, is temporary, and is full of ignorance. So in this body, which is full of these three things, you can't really gain real happiness. So real happiness comes when you come in touch with the spiritual path and you attain your spiritual form. So our spirit souls, we have nothing to do with this body. We have a life of eternity, knowledge and bliss. And the suffering is there because we identify with the body. But if you learn to identify with Krishna and follow his instruction and serve the devotees who are serving Krishna, then you will attain that spiritual strength. And you will not, one will not be affected with the material world. Material world is a place of suffering. There is no enjoyment here. Prabhupada said, even if you want to become miserable and live here, you will not be allowed to, you'll be kicked out. Because Krishna has made the material world in a way to show you that this is not your home. So, the human life, we have this opportunity to get out of the material world. Example is given, just like sometimes people keep parrots in their cage and they allow the parrots to fly off. Now, if the parrots wanted, they could just fly off. But they come back to the cage. So same for us, we are getting this opportunity to come out of the material world, getting the human form of life. After 8,400,000 species, we're getting this civilized human form of life. Now we can take this opportunity and come out of the material world and go back to Krishna. And no more suffering. So, any questions or comments? Okay, I'll stop here. Antara Bhagavad Gita ki. Oh, okay.
What do you suggest to help us not identify with our body?
Well, you have to engage in devotional service, engage in serving Krishna. Somehow or other you have to serve Krishna. So there's a scientific process. Ador Sada Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Nishta Ruchi Ashaktis. So first when one comes to Krishna consciousness, he has a certain level of faith. Then he associates with the devotees. And by association of devotees, in time he takes a spiritual master. And in this way, the spiritual master trains the individual up how to become spiritually strong. And then you don't, in this way, when you become spiritually strong, you don't identify with the body. So initially, the way to not to identify the body, Prabhupada said, if devotees read my books 1 or 2 hours every day, then renunciation will come into them. Because knowledge is compared to fire, it burns up ignorance. So by reading Prabhupada's books, you associate with Krishna directly through knowledge. And by understanding the knowledge, then all the ignorance gets taken away. And the other thing is, you serve those who are free from lust. So by serving those who are free from lust, then you also become free from lust. So, and like this, when you maintain purity, you follow the line of the acharyas, you follow their teachings, you keep association of the saints, you chant the holy name, then the connection comes where you don't identify with the body so much. Prabhupada gave many examples of that. He said about association, he said, if someone's got tuberculosis and they drink water, and then you drink that water, you get tuberculosis. The association is like that. People take association very lightly nowadays. They think socializing with anyone, everybody. It's not like that. You have to be very careful who you associate with. Because Prabhupada gave the example, he said, this is when they're building a Juhu temple in Bombay. And then at that time there were rats, mosquitoes, so many disturbances were there, So Mother Vishaka and Radhiraj, they were living in a life member's house at that time. And they came in the morning and they saw Srila Prabhupada and they asked Srila Prabhupada, is it okay to live in someone's house like this? And Prabhupada said, any house you live in, after 3 days you feel the karma. So, so you have to judge like that if you're coming in someone's association and they're helping you to become spiritually strong, that's a good thing. You should take their association. But if going in someone's association, they're not helping you to become spiritually strong, if you're part of the family, then you do your duty, but you don't have to take the association. You give your heart to the devotees and Krishna. And you learn the way how to do things. Cook Krishna Prasad, give it to your family, invite devotees, do program. In this way you look after yourself. Because life is short. Nothing is permanent in the material world. So, like example is given, just like when the group of planes are flying in the sky, if one plane falls down, the other planes can't help the other one. So, the training is happening here. The temple is a training ground and how to enter the spiritual world. So, the training is happening here. But then you have to be responsible yourself of practicing the process. And then God helps those who help themselves. So then, many examples of that. As you go in through life, you see many examples happening. You go to many instances, and Krishna is giving you the inner voice telling you what to do, what not to do. Or we say He sends certain people to help you on the path. Happens, isn't it? The only thing is, Prabhupada was asked on this point, are there any challenges in practicing Krishna consciousness? And Prabhupada said, this Krishna consciousness is a joyful process, it's chanting, dancing and feasting. But then they asked Prabhupada, is there any challenge here? Prabhupada said, the only challenge is, you have to come to mode of goodness. That's the only challenge. So if you can come to mode of goodness, then your spiritual life becomes easy. So mode of goodness means, you have to practice discipline. So day before, you take rest early, you get up early. And then, by coming to the temple, you practice the morning hours of chanting, seeing the deities, hearing class. And then you learn the process like that. You become spiritually strong like that. And then everything becomes easy over time. Is that okay? Any other questions, comments? Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Bhagavad Gita ki, Jai. Take this as well. The cartels.
कि पंजाबी में कहते हैं हरमन प्यारी, वो बैठी है, कोने में बैठी तो है।
अच्छा हाँ, मैंने इसको पूछा तो मुझे पता नहीं।
आज आप गाओ। ऐसे ही होता है। आ जाओ, खड़े तो हो, नहीं तो फिर मैं खड़ा हो जाऊंगा। खड़े होने में ही डर लग रहा है।